So the next thing I'm going to start coloring it with darker tone or darker colors. And I think mainly I'm going to keep my interior in beige tone. So for example, this is a warm gray 80%. Since it's so dark, I'm not going to go too much, just kind of like just suggesting the color, but I'm not going to go too heavy on the coloring. Okay. And always remember to leave some kind of a white space just to have the idea of a light bouncing in that edge, in that corner. And let's see. Same thing here. I'm always gonna leave some kind of and always remember your darkest point. That way, it kind of makes sense where to, you know, where you could start really darken up the whole area, or you're gonna leave it pretty light. I think I'm gonna do probably like a 50% right there. This is a warm gray, so if you could try to stay within the hue. So if you start with warm gray, then continue it with warm gray too. It's going to be a little bit more solid on this side because that's the back side of it. Okay. I want to make the base black. Because you're not coloring, so the idea is to do the strokes, right? And remember that. So I had the 20%, 80%. I'm going to look for something in the middle, which is about 50%, I think will work. Let's see. This is warm gray 60%. I think that works. And I'm going to darken up the area here. And we can definitely add more accent with some black markers and black pens later. This is going to be pretty dark. That one I'm going to do the same thing, warm gray 80%. Now because it's stone, I'm going to make it quite solid, leaving some white. And we're going to do the stone technique that we learned on the cubes. Everything still looks pretty flat right now because we haven't added shadows yet, so maybe the top I was just gonna do a little bit of space. Okay, it's gonna be much darker in the bottom part, and that's gonna be the glass. I think glass, just the idea of it, for some reason I always like kind of like a teal color for glass, or green, or it could be like colored glass. So this is Ice Ocean Copic, and I use the tip of this broad part. Notice that I did some strokes with the dark marker, the warm gray, but I also mix it with the actual color that I like, and I'm not gonna color the whole thing as well. Probably just like some shadows from the bottom, right? This is kind of like to suggest that it's see-through. Okay, and we can kind of suggest it now that it's stone by doing the technique that we did. Oops. Because that way it's kind of like start shaping out your textures and materials. And remember to kind of like shade it over, under each line with black. That way it's definitely gonna look a lot more 3D. It's right under your white pencils. Try it and see if that's even closer to, you know, kind of like a realistic stone look. I'm just gonna wash up with something light here. It's like a stone block holding up the glass, right? Some shading, just to suggest that this is also a solid glass. And for this, probably like a fun gray color. I could definitely wash up more. This is a warm gray, 40%. And what did I say for that one? Or maybe blue. So this is also fabric, I think. I'm gonna do fabric. And some wood for the base. Or maybe another stone. So definitely do, this is a warm gray 60%. Okay, So you kind of have a feel already about this front area. And if you want to start to a little bit working with the contrast, you definitely could. I'm going to use ruler just to suggest that kind of cleaning up the edges. And of course I picked the one that's running out. Not for everything, just to sharpen up the look of it. I'm going to go over a little bit just so that I could also give some kind of guideline for my shadows. So this is probably farther down a little bit, almost exact right to that's going to be my shadow, remember, vanishing point. Almost exact to the shape of this couch, because it's exactly, the light's going to be exactly on top of these guys. Sorry, for some reason all my markers are dying. So right here, I'm going to do some strokes. So I want to suggest that's the darkest point. And remember this bottom part, I want to make it black. So I'm going to go over it again with some kind of strokes. Here, this is also some shadows that kind of cast it. Oops. And the shadow won't be too dark, so I'm going to start with 60%. Pretty solid. And in this case, this is going to be my rug area. So later we could definitely accentuate it a lot more texture wise with pens and pencils. But as far as the shadow's going to be pretty solid. Okay, and this is also running out. I need the warm gray, sorry.